Okay, here we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. What's up? Iceman, JJ, Tattooed Investor. Good morning from Germany. Vincent, what's up? Her Tweak Cat Guten Morgen from USA. What's up, everybody? Shem Pasta, John Smith. Hello. We are back, and the market is once again open. Here we go. January 17th, 2023. I hope everyone had a great extended weekend. Let me just make sure this is going live. The audio is working. Yep, it's working. All right, let me just put this out into Twitter. I had a pretty good weekend. I hope everyone else had a good weekend. Jason, Emmanuel, Paul. OMG, look at your morning hair. Yeah, the morning hair is kind of crazy. The beard, though, it's coming back. I never thought I would get rid of the beard. But this look of it being very like mid-cut is absolutely growing on me. I like it. I just have to shape it up, but I really am starting to like it. So it's pretty good. Let me just tweet this out and then we're gonna get started. We have a new letter by Palantir CEO and a new interview apparently that he did with CNBC in Davos at the World Economic Forum Summit. I tried to find it. If anyone has the link, please send it to me. I tried to find it. I could not find it this morning yet. I don't know if it's like fully there, but we're gonna react to it and see what's going on. Gus, what's up, Amit? Austin, dude, I'm going all in on Palantir. Well, sometimes you got to go all in. Obviously, little diversification doesn't hurt, but just a question of where your conviction is. I'm kind of like 60-70% all in on Palantir, so I am definitely there. Ray, what's up? Eeyore was right. Good morning. When is the haircut stream? Good morning. Probably not going to stream that because I gotta go to the barbers to actually get that done. Let me pull up Webull. We've had an interesting market open, or at least pre-market, with many stocks in the green. I am getting to the point where I'm starting to feel more comfortable buying stocks. Obviously, Q1 numbers will give us a lot more guidance. And now a lot of people can be like, well, why weren't you buying stocks when they were even down 3 weeks ago? It's like, well, I was buying some. I just wasn't buying massively. And I don't want to start buying massively either. Bitcoin is the interesting one going up to 21.4. Either this is fake or this is real, right? Like Palantir at $7, it was bottomed at 596. Is this real or is this fake? Coinbase at 50, bottomed at 33. Real or fake? Tesla 102, now 125. Real or fake? Tesla, I feel, is undervalued. I feel at 102, it was even more undervalued. If their earnings stink the bed, though, which there's a possibility they can, they might just end up going lower, right? So it's really just a question of your entry points on this. S&P, look at this, $2 away from 400, which is absolutely insane. It's just insane. $2 away from $400 on the S&P, which is like ridiculous. SoFi at 544. SoFi has done a phenomenal job going above $5. Anthony Noto buying $7.2 million of shares back in the 480 to 470 range. And now SoFi at 544. Earnings probably expecting another 500,000 members. That's what estimates are hoping for. Noto buying in the low fours probably gave a little bit more of a little, nudge like, hey, I know what we did in this earnings. This is why I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Netflix at 332. NASDAQ crossing $10,000, 11,079 in the pre-markets. So this whole bear collapse that we were expecting has not happened. But please remember, January 2022 was just like that. I mean, if we go to the S&P right now, and let's click on the 5-year. This is what, 2021. In 2022, remember, we hit 415 on the S&P, then we ran all the way up to 450. Just look at this right here. In a matter of 25 days, 415 down to up to 450. And then came the collapse to 359 3 months later. Then we ran up to 418, then came the collapse to 340 back in October. So I mean, the indicators on if this is a bear market rally or not, we don't know, but like we've seen this happen many times already. Felicia says fake double trouble ahead. When you're going to Davos, Amit, when Palantir hires me as their social media guy. Bro, imagine if Palantir, I couldn't do YouTube obviously because they wouldn't let me do YouTube. But if they hired me as their social media guy, bro. I mean, Daily Palantir, I think we're running that. I have someone else who runs it with me now. That account is up to like 5,300 followers, and It's growing pretty nicely, and we're developing a really good community around Palantir. And if they had me run the actual Palantir Twitter, I might say some shit that's illegal, but still. Hey, Amit, what do you make of Upstart? AI-based lending company that has, let's go to Upstart right now. It's done pretty horribly in terms of the stock. In terms of the actual company, I haven't looked into it too much. What I have learned, look, from 401 to $12 in the bottom. What I have learned is that they don't have anything that's that proprietary per se. There's a lot of AI. Like SoFi uses AI in their lending. Lending Club uses AI in their lending. There's nothing that's so unique. And as a result of that, they kind of duped investors into thinking that they were very unique, when in reality they weren't. And then they have a lot of just not the healthiest of balance sheets. Maybe now it's a little bit better at a 1.39 billion market cap. It's better than 400. Obviously, if this was just like this, Upstart is the peak bull market, stock of the century. I would say not even the decade, the century. But well, no, GameStop is probably, but GameStop's kind of retained some of its value. Put in the comments, what do you think your meme stock of the century is, or your fake bull market stock of the century is? But Upstart, I just think there's so many better fintechs like SoFi that are actually growing, that actually have markets and are good. I just got an interesting text message. Okay. I really thought the FTX scandal would have brought Bitcoin to 12,000. Look, Bitcoin performs the way Bitcoin performs, which is that none of us know how the hell it performs, other than you buy it and you just hold on for dear life because it doesn't matter. I don't have the stomach to buy Bitcoin. And I know a lot of people at my age are like, you're stupid. How do you not have the stomach to hold on to Bitcoin? Because I don't. Okay. I just don't have the stomach. I can't hold on to this thing. I don't understand. It's not that I don't understand it. I would consider myself relatively smart, for lack of a better term, because I've learned a lot about Bitcoin, watched a lot of interviews. I understand some of the core fundamentals of it. But from a price action perspective, I don't understand it at all. And I understand the price action of a Palantir. I understand the price action of a SoFi. Even if I might not be fully correct, I understand it, and I'm able to stomach it because they have earnings that I can live with. Bitcoin is just something I can't stomach personally. It's a personal risk tolerance thing. I'd rather have all my money in Palantir than all my money on Bitcoin, even if the upside on Bitcoin is like thousands of percent more, because like the interim feeling of despair when this thing drops to 15,000 and you're like, holy shit, will it ever come back? Because it's not really real. There's no use case. And granted, the bull side is that there is a ton of use cases, means that it's hard. The problem with Bitcoin to me as well is that it's a speculation play. Like a lot of this price momentum that has moved up is not because anything has happened. It's just because of speculation, right? Whereas if Palantir's price moves up, you would imagine they had more revenue. They had more customers. They had a great interview where they talked about all these different progresses that they're making. Bitcoin is just a lot harder to do that. Check out the Apple video from yesterday. Yes, you guys should definitely check out. I know I've been slacking on the videos. That I usually am at 4 a day. Past week, they've been maybe 2 a day. The reason for this is because, and we have a market open in 1 minute. Thank you, 192 people being here. We just finished our fundraise. We officially raised about $340,000. Thank you to everyone who's invested. So last week, I was doing a lot of stuff trying to figure that out and finish that close. And in the last couple of weeks, we raised another 20K, which is just absolutely amazing. So it gives us a lot of runway to go build my own little unicorn one day if I can get it there. And it'll be amazing to give a nice return to shareholders one day that believed in me when no one else did. So that's why the last 2 weeks were really, just wrapped up in that. But back on the video grind, I want to put out 5 to 6 videos a day. And I'm serious about that. 5 to 6 quality videos of me talking in front of the camera, giving my analysis. I know everyone won't be able to watch all of them, but I want to be able to do it and see how we can go. All right, 9:30 a.m., January 17th, 2023, 17 days into the new year. Here we go. The stock market is open. Wake your ass up. The stock market is now open. S&P just $2, less than $2, about $1.45 away from 400, which would absolutely be insane. Snapchat 971, Coinbase 53, up 6.28% as the market opens. Marathon Digital has been up pretty nicely, nicely meaning almost 200-300% in the past week. So shout out to anyone who owns Marathon, and I got in at a low price. Tesla up at 126, Enphase 251, Enphase moving up, Uber 29, Palantir 698.22%. We're going to get into the Palantir new shareholder letter in just a little bit. I'll also do a detailed video on that after the market opens. SoFi 545, Snowflake 141, Net, Cloudflare, the Palantir partnership they just did 4265, Netflix 331. By the way, oh my goodness. All right, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it, but Spotify. I found a guy on YouTube who is a musician and an investor. And he came out with 2 videos the other day. Well, he came out with a video 1 year ago saying why people should be concerned about Spotify. Then he came out with a video a couple of days ago saying why Spotify will fail. And it's like a 17-minute, it's one of the best videos I've seen. I don't know if he's going to be right or wrong, but the explanation was so good from a music perspective as he's an artist, and then from the business perspective. And then he came out with a video yesterday saying he's officially short Spotify, and he's been short Spotify since February 2022. So not only is a really good musician, he understands a lot of things about investing, but he doesn't have a finance channel. And so I was just watching it and I'm like, holy crap, if he's right about this, this stock is going to like just be destroyed. Now, granted, when the bull market happens, I don't know, because, you know, stocks just tend to go up. So we'll see. But I mean, the bear case he laid out was just is like a bear case I've never seen before. I mean, it was so rooted in industry knowledge versus numbers that it was really good. And then you attach the numbers onto it and like you have a pretty decent bear case. But we'll see. Meta 135, Rocket Lab 501, Walt Disney 100 still trying to be taken over by activist investors. Disney 100 is really good. I mean, they're at 84, so they're up nicely. $16 since then. Adobe, remember when that bottomed at like 274, now it's up at 345. So whoever bought the Adobe dip definitely got rewarded on that. Let's look at some of the comments. Is that a cowbell? That is a cowbell. Congrats, Amit. Thank you guys for saying congrats in the chat. It means the absolute world to me. Now we got to go and build this baby and see what we can do. One does not simply ask, is that a cowbell? It is indeed a cowbell. Morning, Amit. Good morning, Glitch Life. Amit, I would love if you and Chris did a CyberSec company video where you discuss some companies like Crowd. This is a good idea. Chris knows a lot about these companies as well, so we should try to do this as well. SoFi trending on StockTwits. Yeah, man, I think earnings are going to be fun for SoFi. My Palantir put options are up 20%, so that's nice. I have one put on SoFi right now as well. I'm going to get some free money because if SoFi doesn't go under 5 by March, which, and hopefully it doesn't, 545. And you know, my average is so low on SoFi that I can buy, right? Like, I know a lot of people bought at 17, 18, 20 when Chamath pumped and dumped it, but I got in low, okay? So I don't really care. I can buy at 5, 6, 7. I can buy for the next, like, up dollar up or down, and I have a phenomenal average, and it's just one of those stocks where I just didn't find out about until it collapsed, which is why I'm happy, because it's awesome. Now, obviously, I found out about Palantir a little too early, but that's okay because we've been able to build this awesome community, and I think Palantir will be fine in the long term. But SoFi is one of those where, you know, in our I'm pulling up the Palantir new shareholder letter in our SoFi weekly we did on Friday. We Christopher Hager, who wrote a great article on Seeking Alpha, he joined us and he said that SoFi has to at least 5x for Palantir, or sorry, for their for Anthony Noto to get 33% of his shares or his options, which is pretty awesome shareholder alignment, right? The stock has to go to $25 for at least 60 days by 2026, which means a 5x in 3 years, not bad, in order for the CEO to get his shares, or to get 33% of his options. I mean, that's a phenomenal. I wish Palantir had something like that. That'd be amazing. When did this Palantir letter came out? It came out this morning. Alex Karp apparently did an interview as well at CNBC. I don't have the link for that. I'm trying to find it. So if anyone can find it, let me know. This came out this morning at the World Economic Forum Summit. All right, let's read this. It's a little short, so let's get right through it. The company we built remains the principal means through which we intend to shape the world, but there is even much more that we can do. To that end, we are establishing the Palantir Foundation for Defense Policy and International Affairs. Wow. Oh, I didn't know that. The demand for effective enterprise software for both commercial and governmental institutions has never been more significant. We have been fortunate in that we have come of age as a company just as every large institution in the world was becoming a software enterprise. And we have built what those institutions require both to succeed and survive. Our software is now in the fight around the world, supporting American and allied soldiers and intelligence operatives on the front lines. We acknowledge that software can be used as a weapon of war and that ours enables the more efficient targeting and elimination of an enemy. But we also understand that the public discourse about the appropriate use of such software is as critical as construction, 1000%. Like, it's good that they're acknowledging the power that they have. The foundation will serve as the additional means of advancing that discussion. All right, so let's click on this foundation page. What is this? Palantir Foundation. Darntons, hello in the chat. Okay, here we go. They did talk about hiring more as well at the summit. The Palantir Foundation is a nonpartisan organization dedicated to advancing national security through academic and technical research, supporting of emerging technologies and policy development. So they're going to sponsor postgraduate researchers in a range of fields, including tech, physical science, philosophy, and the law. conference, an annual conference in Washington, D.C. Wow, bringing together thought leaders across the industry. A journal featuring provocative commentary and essays on national security. Fellowships, award of fellowships to undergraduate and graduate students. And that's pretty much it. Interesting. The Palantir Foundation. So, I mean, I'll do a video on this, but a couple key points of analysis. I think this is great. I mean, at the end of the day, look, this is just marketing and branding. The more stuff they have their name attached to, I mean, imagine, you're a kid and you're studying philosophy and you come from a underprivileged background, and Palantir pays for your whole New York University philosophy degree, $200,000, so that you can learn philosophy. I mean, you're going to have a very positive sentiment of Palantir. Amazon does this. Google does this. Google sponsors people to learn basic Google AdWords skills and certificates. I mean, this is just something a big tech company does. They ingrain their name within the academic sphere to try to get colleges and universities that honestly are going to have the next wave of talent for those tech companies to be able to have a positive relationship with them. So this is that's my analysis as I'm seeing this right now. But this is a pretty decent thing. Now, is this going to move the stock? I do not think so. Obviously, it's a long-term play for Palantir, just in terms of them being able to develop their name. Not bad. I mean, it's cool. It's not a bad thing. I wouldn't criticize it. I also don't think they're going to spend a ton of money on this. I mean, they have $2 billion in cash. They're probably going to spend maybe a couple million at most on this. Do you think Palantir has a lot of growth without governmental contracts? I think so, because I think the product has seemed to be extremely beneficial in the commercial case, but we have to see if it plays out. But like, obviously in the commercial space, it's been time and time again, it's been proven. I mean, the deals we got over the past couple of weeks has been time and time again proven, but it depends on, if sales can actually get to where we need to get to. Okay, so let's go into the market real quick, and then we'll get into some of the talking heads. Did you hear about the contract Big Bear got? Yeah, I did hear about that contract. So Big Bear got a $900 million contract. Now, this is good because Big Bear is a partner of Palantir, and they use Palantir software as well. In terms of Palantir getting that contract over Big Bear, one thing that's important to understand is that Palantir is not going to get every single contract, and neither does the government want them to get every single contract for two reasons. Number one, Palantir doesn't specialize in literally everything the government needs them to do. Big Bear AI obviously has some different use cases for the government, so that's why they're using them. And B, I mean, you just don't want to give one company a ton of contracts, right? You want to give them enough, but you don't want to give them everything, because then they have way too much leverage. And that's why, Microsoft, Amazon, a lot of them split contracts and Google across the DoD, DOJ, etc., the Pentagon. So it's unlikely Palantir gets everything, but Palantir doesn't need everything. They just need a decent amount, which they've gotten over the past 10 years. And I think they'll get more going forward. Weejo, didn't get to interview him last week. I'll be interviewing the CEO. So if any questions about him, Richard Barlow, that'll happen on Friday about 1 p.m. 1 p.m. it'll happen. Tritium, Palantir SPAC. Let's go to them. DCFC. Well, how much are they up? Oh, wow. They're up 34%. Tritium has been one of my favorite Palantir SPACs. I think them and Weejo will survive. The Joe Biden allocated about $7.5 billion in EV charging infrastructure in the United States. And Tritium is opening a plant up in Tennessee for manufacturing. It's going to create about 500 new jobs. Their charging station was even on stage when Joe Biden was giving a speech about EV charging infrastructures back in March. So Tritium's been one of those stocks that I think has been destroyed because of the market. I wouldn't buy it just because, like, every dollar I have, I would rather put into like really good names like SoFi or Palantir. But I think Tritium can recover back to where it was at like $10. I just don't know when that would happen. It's one of those SPACs that is like Weejo. It got destroyed because of the market, but I think the fundamentals are there for them to be able to sustain themselves. Especially if you look at where the world's going with Weejo and Tritium. EVs are the future. Smart autonomous vehicles are the future. The charging infrastructure for it is the future. Tritium is one of those companies that's actually been able to prove use cases across Britain, the US, the UK, and Australia. So it's one of those companies that I like. I just wouldn't buy the stock. I think Lilium. Yes, I forgot about Lilium. Thanks for bringing that up, David. Lilium, let's go to their key as well. Lilium has been one of those interesting stocks that I haven't spent a lot of time looking at. Obviously, they've been decimated as well, but there was a short report on Lilium, and apparently that short report has been like proven dead wrong. Like, the argument was their planes are fake. They're not. It's like, no, like, their planes are real. And that short report was BS, but that was back in March. So it doesn't seem like that short report actually played out. Lilium seems to be, doing what they need to be doing. They have to find a broader market for electric air. I mean, like, so Uber, which is a company that I really would not recommend. Just, given where the market cap is and how much debt they have and how much money they're losing every quarter. Uber is trying to do Uber Air, right? And like if Lilium could sell their electric jets to Uber Air, and you have Uber Air become a thing where it's like even 1/10 the level of Uber cars in terms of traffic and momentum and the amount of people flying versus driving, that's a big market for Lilium. But as of now, Lilium, I don't see where their huge market is other than Next Jets, which they did a deal with for 150 jets back in March, which was, for rich people flying private. But they need to get even more mass consumer. But that means flying electric has to become more mass consumer, and that's going to take some time for us to get there. ARK at $35 right now. SoFi down a little bit on the day at 541. Spotify down at 91. Bitcoin still holding strong at 21,000. Bitcoin's up. Let's go to the 6 month. Bitcoin bottomed on November 21st, 15,461. Since then, it's at 21,000. If you bought one Bitcoin, you're up $6,000. People have seen these spikes in Bitcoin many times. The question is there enough hype and momentum with interest rates being the way they are and inflation still being at 6.5% for Bitcoin to go back to the moon? Again, for Bitcoin to have a moon, for like a moon rally, the whole market has to moon. And I just don't see the whole market mooning at the level we saw in 2020 or 2021, which is why it's a little bit harder to think of Bitcoin. Where's the Davos interview? I'm trying to find it, Austin. Like, I can't find it anywhere. If anyone can find it, let me know, and then we'll watch it. But I cannot find it. Someone says Carp sucks big. I like Carp. Carp is an interesting guy. All right, let's take a look at this video. We have the ByteDance board member. ByteDance is the parent company of TikTok. Let's see what they have to say right now about what's going on. Obviously, CNBC is at the Davos Summit, so they're getting to talk to a lot of people. And as a result of that, they're getting to hear a lot more perspectives from different business leaders in America. All right, let's take a look at this.
Sir.
Great, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
Are you cold yet?
I am cold. Sufficiently cold.
It's cold. My nose is dripping. It's that cold, right?
Gross.
Sorry, that is gross. We don't get an opportunity to talk to you that often, and one of the big topics has been TikTok and ByteDance and China and everything else, and you're right in the center of it. So what do you think of what we keep hearing from U.S. government officials, and where do you think that investment goes?
Yeah, well, first of all, and first and foremost, the company's been performing extremely well. We're up to over 90 million daily active users.
Don't I know? The Sorkin boys are unfortunately helping you.
So the company's performing well, and we've been engaged with the U.S. government, the national security agencies since the CFIUS review started in 2020,
right?
And consistently engaged, and we're working towards a national security agreement, and we're optimistic we'll secure one.
But are they right? Is it a security threat for people to be on TikTok and have their information be able to be picked up by some server in China and done with we don't know what?
Well, Becky, all of our data is in the Oracle cloud already. I mean, we've taken these concerns very seriously, and we've been executing against the idea of getting into a clean cloud since 2021. And I can say as of today, our data is in the clean cloud and it's safe and secure, really led by Oracle. And it also.
So you think these folks don't know what they're talking about? I mean, you have states now, obviously, that have said, look, you got to, if you work for the government, you got to take it off your phone.
I think there's a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding about ByteDance and TikTok. And as I said, we've taken all the concerns seriously. We've stayed engaged with the national security agencies during both the Trump and the Biden administration. And we've implemented what we think will be the national security agreement, which is moving all the data into the Oracle cloud. And the data's safe. The data's been safe. And the algorithm is being reviewed by Oracle.
How much of it, though, is about the data being safe today versus the data not being used in some other way in the future?
So real quick, when he says the data is in Oracle, and Uriel, thank you for being here, and we're all like keeping it consolidated within the United States, that's an interesting argument. The problem is if China still has control over the app, this is a question of just them being able to influence anyone at Oracle that they have operatives within inside, or just bypassing that and still being able to access the data. Now, I don't want to sound conspiratorial here, but with the articles we've seen over the past couple of weeks and the reason the United States Senate has banned people from like having it in their phone and stuff like that, you can tell that the US has some intel that the general public doesn't have, and that obviously people on the board of ByteDance don't want to say publicly, that lets them know that China still has access to this in some capacity. It might not be as bad as we think, but the fact that they have even some access to it means that they're lying if all the data is only on Oracle and no one else can access it. And that's sort of the concern here.
Or just the ability of potentially the Chinese government, if you believe that they can control it, to effectively spread information or potentially misinformation or get involved in politics or whatever, given the amount of power they have, given so many Americans use this service. I mean, somebody said to me once that this is like the equivalent to, the FCC would never allow one company to own every local TV channel in America. Yeah. This is sort of like that on the phone for a whole new generation.
Well, look, the most important thing for myself, speaking as a parent, is to make sure the data is secure.
Right.
And the data is not leaving the Oracle cloud, is not going back to China or anywhere outside the United States. And we've accomplished that. And that was objective number one. The second is the algorithm. Make sure that the source code is also safe and in the Oracle cloud, and with Oracle certifying that it's safe and reviewed. We've done that. We're doing that. And that's always been the basis of the concerns of the national security organizations.
More broadly, let's talk valuations and what's just happened to the whole space. I mean, public market valuations come down, private market valuations come down. What's happening here?
Well, we've seen a 30% plus correction in the NASDAQ. If you actually look at some of the mid-cap tech stocks, as you know, it's 50 to 70%,
right.
And a complete turn back to profitability. And that is just starting to be reflected in the private markets. We've talked for a while to investors that's going to take 2 to 6 quarters for the private markets to fully reflect what's happened in the public markets. And I'd say we're about 2 quarters.
Is that because folks are just...
That's a fair point. Obviously, public markets have crashed, private markets. TikTok's last valuation I saw went down because their revenue went down from, they expected to do like 12 billion in revenue, and they're not going to be doing 12 billion in revenue. It's going to be more like 10 billion. So $2 billion goes away when ad budgets have to collapse, which means valuations have to come down. Obviously, it'll probably come back as long as TikTok keeps growing. But, the question is Meta. Can Meta take TikTok out? In terms of TikTok getting banned, I think I've changed my opinion on this. I don't think it's happening. I mean, I don't know if it has enough of the political momentum that people think it has to officially get banned, like legitimately get banned. I don't know. I also think there's too many Americans that are working at TikTok or like lobbying with TikTok or inside of TikTok, even politicians that have ties to it, that just won't let it fully happen, even if it should. And so as a result of that, I think Instagram Reels, which is, the competitor from Meta, is just going to have to do its best job to keep up with it. They can't rely on it getting banned. At the end of the day, it's going to be a little bit harder for that to happen. Do you agree with the statement? Past 12 months, staff turnover increased 58% over employees, 35%. It says it will continue to accelerate. Only 33% of employees intend to stay with their current job. Yeah, look, we've seen, it's called quiet quitting, and it's not a new term. We've seen it happen. A lot of people are deciding they don't want to go to work. I mean, look at me, right? I mean, I guess I'm the perfect example of it. I had not a job. It was like a consulting gig, but it was basically like a 35 hours to 40 hours a week full-time job from 2020 till 2022. Then I quit because I developed some presence on social media and started saving up, and then decided to build my own company. A lot of people are doing what I'm doing on a smaller scale, or even on a bigger scale, right? They're just not working. They're leveraging content and media. And this is why my bull case is for content platforms, because like what I've been able to do with building a YouTube audience and then raising money for my startup and then trying to build that, like that only happens if these tech platforms have the ability to curate content and give people access to audience that they haven't had access to before. And, which means you've got to be good at creating content, but the platforms have to be there to be able to do it. But those platforms literally are letting people quit their jobs and start businesses because they have access to attention. And once you have access to attention, you can sell anything, whether it's soap or, just like, whatever it is, or some candles, like whatever you want to do, some consulting gigs, whatever it is. So as a result of that, I'm so bullish on something like Google. Let's take a look at Google, by the way, because things like YouTube, things like Instagram, things like TikTok, they just give opportunity, which makes a lot of people feel they don't have to get a job. Now, the variable here is how good are you at creating? Because if you're not good at creating, it's going to be really difficult for you to use the platforms to sustain attention and get attention and be able to do things. But if you're even decent at creating and you can, work with the algorithms and stuff, you kind of don't have to get a job, because these platforms are literally employing people, even though they're not employing people. When you think of something like YouTube, I mean, how many people are making a full-time living off of YouTube? I mean, it's insane, right? I'm not at that level yet, but I'm just saying, like, it's kind of crazy. And so it means that there is going to be a world in which more people feel like they don't need to have a regular job. And as a result of that, they will not go to work. Now, I think there's always going to be people that need to go to work because they just don't have what it takes to like really put out content consistently. Because when you're in the content creation game, it's got to be every day, like you can't take a break. I mean, you can take a break, but things are going to suffer. So you got to keep it going. And for everyone, they can't do that. Hey, Amit, how many Oculus headsets do you think was sold for Q4? I have no idea. I heard something like, I think it was 15 million was the full year. It might be like 2 or 3 million. I have no idea. I got to look into that. If I do some research, I can probably get a better answer, but I'm not sure. I still have not bought one yet. Shout out to Fundamentals of Investing podcast. Drop a content creator masterclass. I'll sign up. Tevis, you don't need me to drop a masterclass because you and me can just text about it. Tevis is one of my friends with SoFi Weekly. By the way, guys, you really need to check out his channel if you haven't. Fundamentals of Investing podcast. It's highlighted right now. You can just Google it or YouTube it. He really makes some amazing content around a lot of different stocks. SoFi is one of his special ones. Tesla, one of his big ones. Pinterest, one of his big ones. A lot of people are not talking about Pinterest. But me and him were talking the other day in a group about like how to grow on YouTube. And one of the things, if you guys saw the Mr. Beast Lex Friedman interview, was basically Mr. Beast said the way he grew was just by collaborating with a ton of creators, and they just like 24/7 put their ideas together, and then they came up with strategies, and then they grew on YouTube. And like that's the beauty of the internet. And the fact, which is my bull case over Google over Netflix, the fact that Google has me and Tevis just talk about ideas and like, hey, what if this works? What if this thumbnail? What if this strategy? What if you post these many times, blah, 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 blah. And we come up with ideas and we get to make a living or grow on YouTube, get more influence, means YouTube doesn't have to do anything other than algorithmically curate our content. Netflix has to like buy the content, right? That's my bull case. But that's the beauty of living in today's day and age. And that's also the argument for why a lot of people feel they don't need to work a job. Now, you know, if you're making 120,000, are you going to be able to replace that with YouTube? Probably not. It's going to be a lot harder. But if you're unhappy making that 120 and you end up making 70 by doing content creation full time and you're way more happier, you're way more fulfilled, then it is a bargain that I think a lot of millennials are feeling and a lot of Gen Z is worth it at the end of the day. So that's, you know, that's one of the interesting things about doing content full time right now. Can you explain your old consulting gig? So I was a top 7 debater in the United States in 2016. If you look me up, Amit Kukreja debate, you'll find a bunch of articles. As a result of that, I started consulting with helping people learn how to do debate and public speaking. And I ended up scaling that business very well. I made $100,000 throughout the first 4 years of college. So about 25 a year, which isn't amazing, but it was better than like working at Starbucks. You know, I was getting paid a handsome rate per hour. And so as a result of that, you know, I was able to scale and get a bunch of clients and work for the past 2 years to save up enough money to then quit and then start my startup, which is obviously the biggest thing I've ever done risk-wise. But I had that job on the side. And what that did was it gave me so much freedom throughout the year to not have to like work a real 9 to 5 and then not focus on my startup. Like that 9 to 5 to me wasn't even a 9 to 5 because it was so simple to me that I got to go to work and like literally just work on other stuff at the same time. And that helped me like kind of build a foundation for the startup. So that was how I kind of was able to do it. Jobs are for people who are happy being exploited. I don't fully disagree with this. Okay. I think, you know, jobs are for people that want to have some type of work-life balance. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you're a content creator, there's no work-life balance. I mean, it's just, at least not until you get really big. I mean, look at someone like Meet Kevin. The guy still doesn't have work-life balance. And he's such a successful content creator. It's like, it's a journey, bro. You don't get into content for money. You get into it because you want to express ideas to the world and you feel that there is a business underneath that prerequisite necessity to want to create. And as a result of that, it's one of the most fulfilling things because if you can make money off of the things you create, I mean, that's go back thousands of years ago. The dream for humanity was to be able to create things artistically and make a living off of it. And, you know, hundreds of millions of people have had beautiful artistic ideas, but they weren't able to monetize, whether it was their book or their music or their paintings, whatever it is. You had to be like Pablo Picasso level to get money for your paintings. Now that's changed. Now you can be pretty shitty as an artist and still find an audience because these tech platforms have so many freaking people that they've amalgamated in one place that you post anything. And like Palantir has a community on YouTube, probably of over 100,000 people that care, that care about Palantir, which is one of the most niche things in the grand scheme of existence. It's why I think there's a bull case for my startup, because again, content platforms that amalgamate people give more people the opportunity to find an audience. NVIDIA at 173, look at that, passing the 160s. AMD at 72, up from $70. The ARC G stocks, Ginkgo up about 1%, Beam up about 1.3%, and then CRISPR up 0.02% to $50 as well. So markets overall doing decently green. You look like the Gali Tesla guy. People have said I talk fast like him as well. Early on, though, you'll be doing the whole work of a production group. I agree. Now, the interesting thing is, at least in the finance space, and I had a call with an investor on Friday. Shout out to Bailey. We were talking, and he was like, he invested in Aldea, but he found me through YouTube, and for the first like 6-7 months, he was just like religiously watching my content, and he was just like, bro, I don't know how you got away with staring at the camera and offering no visuals. Like not even like, hey, let's look at this article and let's read through this art. He's like literally no visuals for like 500 videos, and somehow you got away with it. And I was like, bro, I don't know either, because I don't think I'm Brad Pitt level. So I don't know why people were staring at me. But then I realized like it comes down to two things: personality, and then like, what are you speaking about? And I think finance is the only space where the thing you're speaking about is so valuable to people, because obviously they have money invested in the thing you're speaking about, that they're willing to just stare at a blank face talk. And so the production value wasn't that high because it was just me talking. Obviously, you have to get the lighting, the audio, and all that stuff. But like at the end of the day, if you just put yourself out there and start talking, things could happen. OnlyFans is the exception. They create content solely to make money. That's true. They have I've never subscribed to an OnlyFans girl, guys. I've never done it. I've never done. It's never compelled me. I guess I haven't found the right one to subscribe to. I haven't done it. It's like that money's for pictures. It's like that money could be put in so many better places. Next Silicon Valley in the cloud, make content people. I agree. And shout out to Darntons. It's going to become the next Bloomberg one day. Darntons.com. Amazing website on business and innovation. Amit, I never actually watch you. I just listen to you every day. LOL. I'm working on other things while you stream. Yeah. And that was my bull case for Aldea as well. I think a lot of content on YouTube is ultimately audio oriented. So if people are willing to just listen to the audio, could you create a centralized network that could just feed them the audio and have that get scale for just audio creators? It's never going to reach YouTube scale, but if it could even reach 1/1000th of YouTube scale, that shit will be worth a lot of fucking money, and Spotify is going to buy it. If Spotify doesn't go bankrupt, because the video I watched the other day, as I referenced from the beginning of the morning stream, said that Spotify's in trouble. I don't want to spend time talking on it because everyone thinks I'm biased, which I am. But that video was a really good video, just explaining the problems with Spotify. Granted, I think they will survive. I think they'll be fine. But bro, Spotify India is $2 a month. Please tell me how you can afford to pay artists and the record labels and not lose money when someone from India is streaming the crap out of these artists for $2 a month. It doesn't make sense. So the video went into this whole blitz scaling idea and how they're doing growth at all costs, and they're using venture capital dollars and now at this point public shareholder dollars to subsidize all of their growth. And it's a bit inorganic, especially because in the UK, which they've been immature in for a while, has hit a ceiling. And so the UK was one of the biggest markets because they started in Europe. It's just, I don't know, it's going to be a little bit harder, but they have a phenomenal product. And if people like their music streaming over other people, they will use it. I wouldn't put it out of the question Spotify gets bought out as well. Could a Netflix buy them and just incorporate both of them? I mean, that would be a hell of a deal for Netflix, in my opinion. They would have to deal with record labels, but imagine they could like make deals with record labels more easily and get all that music incorporated into their movies and stuff. You never know. The other day, I was trying to find something to listen to on Spotify. I was searching for 20 minutes and found nothing. Amit makes a good car salesman. I hope this is a positive comment and not a salesy carsman. Do you have live streaming? Yes, eventually. Right now, live audio sucks though, so eventually we'll have it. Yeah, look, on Spotify, when you try to search for something, let me know in the comments if you guys feel the same. The problem again is you're searching through RSS feeds, which I went into this in that pitch video I made. It just doesn't give you the best results, and there's no recommendations. And so we're releasing a new design for Aldea in 2 weeks, and I think the new design for Aldea is going to make it a lot more easier for people to use the product and find content to listen to. I know the current design sucks. It was the MVP. It looks a lot like YouTube. It's totally going to be revamped starting hopefully February 1st. That is kind of our deadline on it. And as a result of that, I think when you guys load up the new website, it's going to be a lot easier for you to find content, and it's going to be more enjoyable to listen to and find new content. And that's it. If you can make content enjoyable to discover and find, a lot of people will use your shit, whatever you make. And then that platform will get very valuable. And so let's see what we can do. Shopify at 39, it's up $2 from 37. Path 1392. Unity Software, amazing software company, horrible shareholder dilution, 3183. If there's any stocks in the comments, you guys can let me know. Let's look at Tattooed Chef, 140. Okay, I hope this comes back. I hope it comes back because Jeremy's gonna have like the best video ever if Tattooed Chef goes to $20. So I just hope that comes back for him, but we'll see. Enphase rallying at 255. Bed Bath & Beyond still up at 360. It probably shouldn't be more than $1, so be careful with that one. Apple 135, Snowflake 144. Apple going above 124. So Apple rallying on this bull market. There should be, Apple earnings people have analyzed are going to be really bad because, what is there to really grow after you do $90 billion in 90 days in terms of the last earnings? But we'll see how bad. Q1 earnings in general might be really bad for the market, and then we'll see how things happen. We'll see how it works. All deal looks great. Sheila Show, I appreciate that. It's going to look a lot better. It's going to look a lot better as we release the new design. So it'll be cool. Record labels cutthroat when it comes to controlling the artists and music. Music is a crappy industry to invest in. Yeah, I would rather invest in Universal Music Group that owns all the IP versus the app. Like, at the end of the day, guys, Spotify is just an app. It's a really nice app, but it's just an app. YouTube is not just an app. There is no other place on the planet to upload your video. Like, yeah, you could do TikTok or Instagram, whatever, but like, it's YouTube. With Spotify, there's a trillion other places to upload your podcast. There's a trillion other places to listen to music, which means the discovery algorithm is the moat. And it's like discovery algorithm, at least for podcasts, sucks. At least for smaller creators, sucks. For smaller artists, sucks. And ask any smaller artist, they will tell you it sucks. Like, I, as a YouTuber, should not be saying YouTube's algorithm sucks because YouTube gave me 38 million impressions last year. I will never say it sucks. Like, I cannot ask it to do more than that. Would I like it to grow? Obviously, but I cannot ask you to do more. For a random dude in his house in New Jersey, for you to show me to 38 million people, like, no, you're pretty much on the side of the creator. So as a small creator, you shouldn't be talking bad about these platforms. And when I talk to small creators with Spotify, all they do is talk bad about them. I'm listening to this right now. I'm driving home from work, listen to every market open every time this way. If you did an audio version, it wouldn't change a thing to me. Yep. I think there's a lot of content on YouTube that and people that consume that agree with you, John. What do you think of cruise stocks? So I know Chris is buying some corporate debt from, I think, Carnival Cruise. I don't have an opinion on them because, like, airlines and cruise stocks were interesting in 2020. Now, like, I don't know why you would invest in them as a growth area. If they give a dividend, maybe. But like, it's airlines and cruise are just not that exciting right now. There's nothing that interesting. Amit Karp commented on SPACs and CMBs. Yes, I know he did. I saw a tweet about it, but I don't have this freaking video. And so after this morning stream ends, I'm going to try to find this video. Oh, look at this. Tesla's up 6%. Let's go into that. And then I'll do a reaction on the video. I think Twitter will eventually compete with YouTube. Glitch Life, I kind of disagree. I don't think that many people will be using Twitter to find video. YouTube's ability to find video is just phenomenal. I think Twitter might, I don't know. I think I don't go to Twitter for video. I go to it for tweets at the end of the day. Maybe, look, if Twitter has some better ad system, I would upload my videos there. Why not? If I could get more people to find my money, find my video so I can make more money. Find my money. Where's my money? That would be really good. Tesla up 5.8%, 129. Look, bull market's back, baby. No, I'm just kidding. But look, S&P going close to 400. Obviously, stocks are going to rise. Even Upstart is up 4%. I don't think today's the day to buy if you're interested in buying. We should probably wait until it gets a little red. Anything can happen over the next couple of days, so we'll see. Probably wouldn't buy on a Monday, but if you're DCAing, look, Tesla at 130 is not a bad DCA. And I need to get ready to start DCAing a lot more heavier than I am right now. I'm just waiting for a little bit better of a moment, but I have some dry powder ready to go. And so we're gonna unleash it into. Look, my highest convictions right now are SoFi, Palantir, and Tesla. I know Tesla, I don't have the biggest position, but my conviction is growing deeper for it. SoFi conviction is very strong. Palantir conviction has always been there. So I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, yo, do I need 10 stocks? I'm 25. I don't want to look at this money till I'm 35. Can I pick 5 that I can develop at least a $20,000 position in each of them? And as of now, Palantir is like a $50,000 position. So that one's very overweight. Can I get 5 stocks and develop a pretty strong position in? Can I do that? And can I do that over the next 2 years so that I don't have to look at it for a while? That's my thing. Or can I get 3 stocks and develop even heavier positions in that, right? Like, this is the questions that I'm going through right now and trying to figure out. I don't have unlimited funds, so I have to be able to make those decisions and see what happens and go from there. Check out Tonix Pharmaceutical up 334% in the last month. What's the ticker symbol, Jason? Can you send the ticker symbol? I missed it, to be honest, so I'm just going to buy more Palantir. Now, I have a biotech that is my YOLO play. This is a biotech I have about 20 grand in. It's so stupid, bro. I've held it for 3 years. Like, when it finally hits, I'm going to enjoy not paying a lot of capital gains tax. This is one of those biotechs that I put the money in, I believe in. I don't even look at it anymore because whatever happens, happens. Do not buy it because it's a very risky company. They already did a reverse split. I bought this in COVID time. I think the research is incredibly legit, but I think management kind of sucks. And so, when the drug works, it'll work. If it doesn't work, then I lose my money, and we'll see. The ticker symbol is PPBT. Again, do not buy this stock. The stock is the level of DD I've done on the stock. I never talk about it publicly. It's been almost 2 years worth of DD. I never talk about it publicly because it could still go to shit. But this was like the first stock I got into, and the level, I was so obsessed with it because I was down like $5,000, and I was like, I need to justify this investment. I just spent years doing DD on it. Stock Twits has a lot of DD on it as well. If you go to that ticker symbol, but again, I highly wouldn't recommend buying it. They could do another reverse split. There could be more share dilution. The drugs could not work. There's just so many different issues with this company. But I'm already in there. So at this point, I was like, I'm not going to sell when it's here. Like now that I'm here, it's like, all right, either the drug works or it doesn't. And if they get bought out, which I think they will by Bristol Myers Squibb in the next couple of years, then it'll hit. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's it. I can't do anything. We will see what happens. Amit, do you build your position to many shares you own or total value invested on the stock? I mean, I like to get to shares. Shares is like Palantir. I want to get to 3,000 shares. Right now it's at 2,600. So we want to get there and see what happens. Do you consider yourself a value investor? I mean, probably not. If you're talking about like the Warren Buffett type of approach, TNXP, let me check it out. Probably not a value investor, like, buying Coca-Cola and only dividends, because it's just my age, right? I want to have a dividend portfolio, but I also want to get fucking rich, bro. Like, I don't want to worry about dividends right now. I got too many years, hopefully, if I'm alive, to worry about dividends. All right, let's look at this. Wow, 0.28 cents up to what's it at 150. What was the reason for the pump? Does anyone know? Did they get a drug? See, this is what I'm thinking could happen with the biotech that I'm in. Like, the thing about biotechs is if the drug works, it goes like insane because the drug works. If the drug doesn't work, then it goes to shit. And that's I'll see in the next couple of years if I have this type of a moment. But if I do, it's going to pay for a lot of losses. So we'll see. I would imagine the drug had to do something. I don't think it's a meme thing covering. Do both. Yeah, I want to do both as well. Just a question of allocating the capital. Up 160% on my PFE puts. Not bad. Not bad. See the last 5-year chart? Okay, let's go to the 5 years. Wow. Oh my goodness. So I think they did a lot of reverse splits, right? Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Wow. It's been down for a while and it just ran up. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Look at that. It's been stuck basically for all that time. That's wild. Well, the other day a tie dropped 40% due to some bad results. Yeah, and that's the sad part about it. Value isn't just about the dividends, it's about a bargain. I agree. I'm generalizing here. Finding that bargain, it's harder to buy Palantir or Sofi if you're a value investor because they're losing money, stock-based compensation, all this stuff. So it's harder to buy Tesla, obviously, a couple years ago. You have to really see a broader picture of growth. Like at the end of the day, either the company grows and it justifies the dollar, the premium you're paying on the dollar in the current day, which means you're not getting a quote unquote bargain unless you believe there's a massive growth upside, in which that case it is a bargain. And I think that's the case with Sofi, Palantir, and Tesla. Or if you're like more traditional value, you look at like, is there positive EBITDA growth right now? Am I paying less for this future cash flow of a dollar that I think I'm going to get in the future right now? And with growth stocks, that just doesn't tend to happen. And that, that's been ARK's philosophy. And for a lot of the stocks, it's proved out to be horrible. For Tesla, it proved out to be amazing. And so we'll see. Eventually, I overarchingly agree with the ARK thesis that these converging technologies that exist in the world are going to grow exponentially. Like there's no stopping that. The question is which companies are going to win in that. So if you're pure value and you miss out on something like a Palantir that has a 70% year-over-year growth one year because they just actually figure it out, then, you miss out on a company. Like there's not many companies that can grow that much. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. But that's the bet, like that it could happen. And it's better than something growing at 3% year over year, but it gives me a dividend in terms of just the upside. But also you have to have years to have that play out. And that's another reason about, when you want to invest in those types of stocks. Thoughts on WonderFi, Kevin O'Leary stock? What the heck is WonderFi? WonderFi? What's the ticker symbol on that? WondF? I have no idea what WonderFi is. It sounds like the bread. Remember that bread that has the FI at the end? What's that bread called? I'm forgetting it, but like WonderFi. Interesting. My 4-day. Wow, you have a 4-day-old? Oh my gosh, Samarth. First of all, congrats to you, Samarth, on having a baby. Wow, I thought you said 4 years, 4-day-old. I have a friend, or I have a subscriber from California who called me up the other day and said him and his son watch SoFi Weekly and Palantir Weekly, and it was pretty cool because his son is in 5th grade, and like if I had access to just like stock market information. I don't want to say I don't have access because I honestly didn't look for it. I guess YouTube's algorithm didn't suggest it to me, which shows you how powerful the algorithm is. You know what they suggested to me when I was in high school? Political content. It was I was like a socialist. I was like a Bernie Sanders like socialist. It's like, I've changed since then because I kind of don't want to kill the rich. I want to be the rich. But if they had just recommended to me like stocks content, I could imagine in high school if that was the content I was consuming, how much more. Like in college, I was making a solid 20 to 25K a year just off my consulting, and I wasn't investing any of it. Like I like none of it. Imagine I was just dumping it into Tesla, dumping it into Apple in 2016, dumping it into Shopify, like just none of it. And it kills me because I know I started early at 1922 or in 20. When I was 19 years old in 2020. So I was able to start. And then 2022, I really got into it. But if I had started in 2016 and just like even invested in the S&P, I would be up so much goddamn money right now. Like so much money. It would be amazing. Wonder Bread. That's what it is. Wonder Bread. And so I just didn't do that. And it sucks. Like it really annoys me because I had the money. I was one of those people that was privileged enough in college to be able to figure out how to monetize a skill set I had. And then actually like, I remember the first time I got paid $25 an hour for consulting. I was like, holy shit, $25 an hour. And then by the end of the year, it got to like $100 an hour. I was like, what is going on? This is real money. And I don't, and it's because it's my own LLC, the taxes, I can write off a lot of money, all this stuff. So if I just taken that money and just dumped it into stocks, I didn't even know Robinhood existed, And so that's the one thing I hated about my college experiences. I just didn't have access to that information. So I think now with this new generation, the earlier kids know about this. So the earlier kids know that they can own a company versus having to work for a company and be a shareholder. I just think is so incredibly valuable at the end of the day that it's important. So, all right, that's pretty much it for me today. Thank you guys, everybody. I appreciate you. I am out. I was following Tesla when they were about $40, but I didn't have the conviction or experience to invest while everyone was saying they would fail and go bankrupt, kicking myself. Yeah. And it's hard to kick yourself on this because look, it happens at the end of the day. Like it happens. You can't really do much about it, but you can only learn from the future and to go forward and try to invest in stuff that you do understand a little bit about. And that's what I'm kind of thinking with Palantir. Now I could still be wrong on that with SoFi. I could still be wrong on that. Like you could still be wrong. Like Tesla worked out and it was amazing, but you can still be wrong on other stocks. But it's about having that mindset and having that conviction. I really suggest for everyone who didn't watch the video I uploaded yesterday about a guy in my Finance Junkies podcast who put $10,000 into Apple, forgot about it for 7 years. He woke up one morning in 2009, it was worth $400,000. And he cashed out. And if he didn't cash out, it would be worth a couple $1 million today. Really go watch that video. It gives a little bit of context on everything that's going on. So, all right, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. Market open 9:20. A couple more videos coming out today. If you guys can catch them, that'd mean the world. If not, no worries. And I'll see you tomorrow, 9:20 a.m. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.